Welcome to the live edition of the Ave Podcast, where I'm joined by my South Shiraf family members. I will say them in succession in order here. Please welcome Julian, a.k.a. Jules the Commish.
Yes,
How you doing today, sir?
Good. I'm good.
Yes. I'll also welcome South Shiraf family member, CEO of Team Lightskin, and the founder of Red Rush AAU basketball program. We're in all Giants gear right now. He's flexing in the Lawrence Taylor outfit. Mr. Randall Walter, how you doing today?
LT.
And last but not least, the Hoffa and friend of the podcast, Hoffa of Durham College, and one of the most prolific scorers in Canadian college basketball history, Mr. Anthony Batchelor, resident of Seattle. How you doing today, sir?
No, what's happening, yo?
No problem. Hoping to get ownership of the team. That's what he's trying to hope for.
Yes, sir.
But with all that said, there's a million different things to talk about with regards to the offseason. But we got to say goodbye to Masai, man. We haven't discussed this yet. Masai, as y'all know, has left the Raptors. They've parted ways with MLSE. But I think we gotta say our goodbyes to Masai, man. And I gotta go with the guy with all the hockey paraphernalia in the background, because he's the resident Raptor lifer of the group here. So I want to start off with Julian. How do you feel about Masai parting ways, man, and getting out of the six?
I was shocked at the timing of it. I wasn't expecting it. I knew he was looking for a new contract, but I was shocked to hear that, after the draft, that they let him go. I was pissed. I know there's a lot of people upset with what he has been able to do in terms of assembling the team that you see today in the last 2-3 years in the trades and holding on to players, letting Siakam go, not re-signing him. So there's a lot of people that were upset. But in my eyes, I always thought that the last 10 years, I don't know how long he's been with us, maybe not 10 years, but in that scope of work, he was, to me, allowed to make
more. It's been more
than
12 years.
Right? And from where he brought the team to where we are
12 years
last year, today, I thought he was able to have a little leeway of making some bad moves, because he's been, he's been on a consecutive 8-9 year run, I think, in terms of drafting, making draft day deals, trades, taking home run shots for Kawhi. So I thought, I was gonna give him give him some leash, a good enough leash to make a few errors and mistakes, because he wasn't perfect. But to that said, I was pissed.
Right.
Also thinking that there was a little bit more than just basketball operations issues. I thought it was a lot personal with the ownership. With Ed Rogers, I know that they had conflicting views. I don't like Ed Rogers personally, where he stands in political stances, and I know Masai is almost like anti-Ed Rogers in terms of political views. So I don't know what led to what. We still haven't heard Masai say anything yet, which is like a goodbye to Toronto or anything. So all in all, I'm sad to see him go. Personally, I think he's one of the top executives in the NBA. I don't know what he was asking for, but he should be asking in the top five percentile of whatever the top 5 executives are getting, in my opinion. So unless he was asking for something astronomical, I think we should have given it to him based on his track record and what he has been able to do in Toronto. So all in all, I'm disappointed, but at the same time, I'm okay for change, but I wish I knew more on the behind the scenes and what led to this, or at least the timing of it.
All right, what about you, Batch?
I think we got a new James Dolan on our hands. And Ed Rogers, pretty much, he's got his hands on every sports team in Toronto right now, the same way James Dolan has his hands on the Knicks, the Rangers. I might be missing another team, but with Masai leaving, the way they put it out, I feel that Masai already knew it was coming, especially knowing that the relationship between him and Ed Rogers, wasn't the greatest to begin with. So the moment that he got that the majority, the writing was on the wall. I think we also have to consider the family behind with Masai. We just hit summertime. School's out. He's got kids out here. They hoop out here. So maybe it all worked out in timing with even with the kids, because I know he's a family man. So with that being said, maybe this worked out within his timeline. For us as fans, we definitely want to see that happen. I mean, would we rather see that happen now in June, end of June, or would we rather see that just before training camp? I think that can go many ways, but it's sad to see him go. I mean, but at the same time, he can go over there, just wait a little bit till Seattle gets their team. He can take over there. We can get a championship over there too. So I'm not mad either way. But
how did I know that was coming?
You knew that was coming. But I think it was, he came here, he did his job, he got us a ring. That's the most important thing to start with. I think now we're kind of being selfish and saying that we don't want to see him leave, but at the same time, with the money, these billionaires, all they want to do is continue making money. I can't fault them for it, but at the same time, as sports fans, man, we want wins, right? So what are we going to see next? I don't know. I think the team is in good shape. The Eastern Conference is not that strong to say that we won't make the playoffs. Other teams are kind of faltered, so I think he left us in good hands. But I just don't want to hear Ed Rogers or any of them other clutch talking about they were the ones that put it together, because that's not the case. I wouldn't believe that for a second.
And what about you, Ryan?
I mean, just to kind of jump on to what both Commission and Batch are saying. I mean, it's so hard to say goodbye, man. Like we love Masai, right? Like
where's the Boys to Men music?
It's so hard. Yo, I honestly, I was sitting there like, smash Hulk. I was pissed off, or Seinfeld. George is getting mad, right? Just, Jules kind of reiterated earlier about when you got a top 5, and I think he's truly a top 5 executive.
He is.
Who are you gonna get to replace that?
Right.
Right? We paid fucking Gary Temple to come back for probably what he was asking for. Fuck Temple. Give Masai the money, the bag. We don't need Temple. We need Masai. What are you talking about? Right? Like, fuck. Like, I'm pissed. Because, like you said, who are you going to bring in that's better? And we all know. I mean, Commish, you said it, man. Like, this guy, Ted Rogers, is a fucking loser. Sorry, I'm cursing today because I'm pissed.
It's fine.
Right? He's just a
Go off.
He ruined the Jays. Remember when the Jays were making that run and they had, what's his name? Is it Shapiro or whatever?
With Batista,
making all the moves. He fired him, and the Jays have never been the same since. He, MLS, same thing. They were winning. Toronto TFC, they had a good. They were bringing in stars. Kiboshed all that, switched up. The coach. Haven't heard anything since, right? He
got rid of Shanahan.
I hate the Leafs, so it doesn't really matter what the Leafs do or what happens. So, but I mean, whatever the Leafs are or were, they're never going to be anyway. And the Raps was the shining jewel of all of them, right? Because they were Canada's team, kind of like the Jays were at one point. But I look at like what the trajectory is looking like. And the rumors coming out. I mean, Ted Rogers already saying bullshit like, oh, Masai had too much on his plate with the Giants of Africa and all these other, altruistic things and whatever, whatever else he was involved in, right? And I think that's just smoke and mirrors, right? There's something behind the scenes of a relationship, that was fractured. And Masai wasn't putting up with his shit because he's a bully, right? He probably mows his hat with a magnet hat on, right?
Pretty much. And by the way, it's Ed. It's not Ted. It was Ed.
Ed. Fucking, I'm fed up with both of them, all of them. And their internet sucks.
No,
So,
but for me though, honestly, like, because I was kind of like everybody else, man. When he got fired, I was or they parted ways. I was like, it almost felt like I felt a little sad. I was a little mad, but I was a little like, man, like this is really like the end of an era, because I'm harkening back to back when him and Tim Lewicki came, and there was that like and where they were at the point in time, and I remember people weren't really catching on, and God bless the dead, but I remember me and Headley were always like we were like excited as hell, because I mean I was reading about Lewicki and all the moves he was making in the sports world. And
happened to Raps.
Yeah, and I mean, the Raptors have never even come close to anything like that before, right? And then you have Masai coming back, and he was like, he's eager to take this on, and then he flipped Rudy Gay. We all thought we were gonna fold. The next thing we're in the playoffs. You had, he started with Jurassic Park, which was now mimicked by almost every sport franchise in all of North American sports when it comes to the playoffs. You had, attaching Drake to the, as the stardom was rising with the team. I thought that was at the time that was a big move, because we never had any celebrity status, for anything regarding the Raptors before, other than like Vince Carter. The whole F Brooklyn thing. You maxed out the whole whole era of DeRozan and Lowry, and he tried to max up that team, and then, unlike other Toronto teams that we've seen in recent history, he upped the level one more time and went out and pushed all the chips to the table and went out and got Kawhi, and it panned out, right? We got to celebrate our first championship in Toronto in since 1993, I think. Was it prior to that, right? I think it was it 93? I said the last since the Blue Jays won, I think.
Oh,
right?
yeah, 93.
Yeah, so it was 93, so 26 years.
Unless you count MLS.
Yeah, or the Argos, right? I guess you can count those two, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. It's not the celebrations aren't quite the same,
No.
And I remember when I was moving to Toronto, I was like, oh man, I hope one day I'll get to see like the Blue Jays or somebody win a title, and I never thought it would take me that long to see one, But I mean, that guy brought all of that, and then he fielded a competitive team that, honestly, given the right set of breaks, could have made the bubble chip finals at least. You know what I mean? So to watch, like, I understand the ending wasn't great, but to me, the first 6 or 7 years kind of supersedes. It kind of gives them a leeway to me to at least try to reverse the problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to take time. You can't just flip teams just like that, especially with this cap and this era. It takes time to build back a team. It's not fantasy. You know what I mean? It's not fantasy sports. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, it was like you had to give him a little bit of time and grace, considering some of the obstacles he had. Remember, I mean, there was a period during COVID where the Raptors weren't even here. They were in Tampa. You know what I mean? So it's like you had to deal with all of those logistics and everything else. Like, I think he deserved the only mistake I thought he made was he held on to some of the core players a little too long. And we've discussed that ad nauseum, throughout different podcast episodes. But I mean, I honestly, I was, I don't know, man. I feel like everything must end, but I am 1,000% with you guys, man. I didn't like how that was kind of handled, especially when you read some of the backstory later with Ed Rogers and how basically he got rid of every VP on every MLS team in the last, in recent times. Like, to me, that's, I don't know, man. This is set up for a good precedent. It really doesn't.
Well, the thing about it, is that you with Masai, there's times it was frustrating, but there's always that optimism that he could pull out a crazy deal like Kawhi, right? And there was always that sense of with Masai, anything could happen. It just depended on how much he wanted it and what it was the timing right. Like, if there was someone that could have brought Giannis to Toronto, it's Masai.
It's going to be Masai, 100%.
Right. If you're going to get a quote-unquote big fish, it's Masai. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of good things about, his protege, Bobby Webster.
Right.
But this is not a Raps podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean, And at the end of the day, and then on top of that, when you hear, the rumors that they were looking at Ben Simmons, you kind of want to throw up in a bucket after that too.
Where did y'all hear that from?
Yeah, it's on like
I don't know how true it was, but I was like, man, this is not a good rumor to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
At least swing for the fence. Don't get a single, not even a bunt. You know what I'm saying?
And he had the nerve to say that he does not want to vet men.
Yeah, I read that too today. I read that.
Is that what he said?
Who knows what's truth and what's fact and what's fiction?
Oh man, you know what? He's mentally ill. He can, and we still have, he can have one of those workout videos with him in a YMCA shooting threes at like the middle school line.
Yeah, I never want to see his workout videos ever again in my life.
Yeah.
Ever.
Him playing in the Y versus guys in jogging pants.
Yo,
Not
Brad,
cool.
what's crazy is like when you watch one of those games and he still like will not take a jump shot. I'm like, yo, something's like, go see a sports psychiatrist, man. This is not healthy now. Like you're actually costing yourself millions of dollars just by like being afraid to shoot. Like, go fix that, man.
He doesn't think so.
Yeah, Batch is right. He doesn't.
He doesn't think so. He clearly thinks he's gonna get another bag. So not shooting jumpers, that's nothing for him.
But with Masai going forward, though, like, yeah, I mean, if I was him, I don't know what the next moves are going to be. If we're just going to maybe chill for a year and see what opens up, because usually some team is firing somebody. You know what I mean? Or what's the 3-4? Is that Seattle area code or something?
Nah, well, come on. 206-253-425. But I'm not gonna name them all. It's okay though. But no, 3 more years. 2028, man. Listen, it's gonna come, man. It's gonna happen. Trust me. And to your point, you mentioned Tim Leiweke. Who was he in charge of right now?
I didn't get a chance to look that up. Is it
I thought he's still part of the board.
No, he's not.
MLSC? No.
He's off the board now. He's been off the board for a while.
Oh.
When you find out, let me know.
Why do I feel I'm going to have to look that up? And why do I feel like it's connected to the Pacific Northwest?
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, but honestly, that wouldn't be a bad move because it for him is a reflection of home too, right? Like he did live in that area for a bit too, so.
Right.
Or I was going to say Denver, but I think Denver just hired somebody, Ben Tenzer, I believe, and then he made some great moves, which will, get into the winners and losers sections in a moment. But
you said great.
I thought they made some good moves. Denver, I thought so.
Recent, yeah, they did.
Let's get this shit started right now, please.
Well, before we get to that, let's get to Houston. Did Houston just become the certified biggest threat to OKC in the Western Conference?
No.
No? Okay.
Not the biggest threat. Dallas did, but not Houston.
Well, I'm not going to – I mean, we already spoke about KD, but they made some more moves. So irrespective of KD.
You think those moves moved the needle that much?
Yeah. They replaced Dylan Brooks with DFS. They still got a bench, but the bench is really young, so no one really knows about it too tough. But their starting 5 is nasty. You got Fred at the 1. You got Amin Thompson at the 2. We got Tari Eason, I think, at the 3. They're gonna start.
He's coming off the bench. They said
he's coming off the bench. So
yeah.
you start
KD at the 3. KD at the 3. Jabari Smith at 4 and 5.
I don't like that. You need a score coming off the bench, man.
So which is Eason?
So I would put Eason in the starting lineup.
And who would you have scoring off the bench?
That I would put Jabari Smith the same way I have Jabari Smith coming off the bench. Just because you come off the bench doesn't mean you ain't getting 30 minutes.
No, not that. But I don't see him as a scorer.
You don't see Jabari Smith as a scorer?
He wasn't for the last year. I can tell you that much. Not last year. Not a rebounder, not a scorer. In fact, he probably averaged maybe like under 10 points in the playoffs. That's for sure.
So now we ain't talking about the playoffs right now. Playoffs is different, man, because we're talking about matchups at that point.
You know what I'm getting at? He wasn't somebody that you can rely on to score. And
I think he has upside, but I agree. I I don't think he's coming off the bench and going to be like that punch that you're talking about, Match.
So who do you have coming off the bench then?
Eason.
I like Eason.
Yeah.
As a scorer?
Eason is more of a scoring threat, I feel, right now than Jabari Smith.
A scoring threat? So you're telling me that you could run a set play for Tari Eason, and you think he will come up with a bucket before Jabari Smith?
I think Eason's ceiling is underrated. I think he can do it all. I think he has potential to be a starter one day. You don't think so?
Off of the high motor that he has, yes, absolutely. But in terms of what we're doing and what you have in the first unit, I would say he's better used coming off the bench.
He is coming off the bench.
No, I'm talking about Jabari Smith coming off the bench.
I don't know. He came off the bench last year.
Too.
He didn't play well. He came off the bench. Basically, he got hurt. He came for the last half of the year. He came off the bench.
But that's after he got hurt. But before he got hurt, he was a problem.
He was playing. Well, listen, I'm not knocking Jabari. I'm not saying he's not, a starting type caliber player. I'm just saying he didn't look it last year. That's all I'm saying.
But again, they just gave him all that money too, right? Well, I mean, it wasn't a humongous bag, but that money signifies he's probably going to start. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they did announce, I don't know, I saw it online or whatever, social media, but they did say this is the starting five, and he was in the starting five.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like big men that don't rebound. I think that's also with me. He just doesn't rebound. Man. He just shoots threes. He's not in the paint as much as I think he should be, but maybe he'll put that in his bag next year.
This is third year, right? Because I think his first year he was in the paint more than he was last year.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be a game plan.
Yeah, more so. But yeah, he'll definitely start. I think, as you said, Calvin, you got that money. You got a starter.
Yeah, and picking up. And the one thing I'm a little confused by is I'm like, it hit me today. I'm like, why did they get two more bigs on that team? Well, not two more, sorry, because they already had Steven Adams, but then they went and picked up Capella, which at first I was excited by. Then I was like, wait a minute, they got three bigs?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that they picked up Capella.
Yeah, they got Capella.
They picked him up. So to me, I was kind of confused. Why did they need all those bigs? Yeah.
Why? That doesn't make sense.
You need a shot blocker.
That's true.
Senji's not a shot blocker.
And Adams
Jabari Smith is a shot blocker, but that's somebody you can interchange between the power forward and the center position. And this is why I say coming off the bench, that is a perfect position because now him coming off the bench, he can slot him off the center position because Steven Adams is not playing no 20-odd minutes. That's not happening. So this is why I say take Jabari Smith off of the starting lineup, put him into as a sixth man, and then switch him up for the power forward position. And then now you can utilize Eason in the second unit the way you guys are saying, but I think Jabari should be coming off the bench. Personally.
Could you slide Sengun to the four?
No.
He
can't shoot. Not like that. I mean, he can shoot, but not like that. He would rather clean up within 10, maybe 18 feet.
Yeah. I don't know why. I hear what you're saying. They need shot blocking, but they just re-upped Adams. They just re-upped. Yeah, he's not a shot blocker, but he's still a big body in the paint. I don't know how, anyhow, unless they know something that we don't know.
It's all about roles now, man.
I trust Udoka to make it happen at this point because I mean he got re-upped too, right? Mm-hmm. He got his extension this summer too, so it's worth it.
He deserves it.
No, 100%. 100%. Especially considering where he was about 2-3 years ago. Man, this is. I mean, again, but we're not surprised. I mean, this first year coaching, he took Boston to the finals, right? So this isn't a shock. He's one of the best coaches in the league.
Mm-hmm. The team in Boston, though, but yeah,
I know Boston was already good, but I'm just saying, he's a really good coach,
Yeah, he is. From what it looks like, he definitely is. I can't take that away from him. Yeah, but I do think Houston has a chance to compete. I think they're you guys don't think so, eh? You guys don't think they're the second best team? I think Denver and Houston next to OKC.
Yo. Denver shouldn't even be in the top 3. Leave them out.
Really?
100%.
You know, we lost 7 games to OKC. 7 games.
Nah, leave Denver. No, top 3 teams are your 3 Texas teams, hands down.
Well, hold that thought before we get to the winners and losers, because I have them in that section. But let's move to Milwaukee right now, because Dame being waived. I mean, like, this is a new era of the NBA. We all know that, and the way the league is doing business, this is like, it's literally changing in real time right before our eyes. But I don't know. I'll have to ask you guys. Like, for me, when I was watching the scroll and watching the name Dame Lillard and waived in the same sentence, it just felt disrespectful to me. You know what I mean? And to me, I don't know. Did you guys find it that way? Like, considering that he's not 39 years old or 40 years old? Because to me, I thought that was, I get it. He tore his Achilles, he had a horrific injury. But waived though, bro? Like, that to me is like, considering that this guy, well, I'll let you guys talk. I'll let you guys like hash that out. Because I mean, to me, I thought that was like, I know where the league is going. I understand everything. I understand the horrific injury. But waived?
But what are you going to do? See, you're going to keep him on the books. He's going to be out for over a year. Like, he's out this season, basically. And you're going to keep him on the books, holding all that cap space? Like,
but here's the thing, though, Randall, right? Like, you're stretching his contract over the next 5 years. Like, you're not really buying him out, just stretching out his contract.
Right. He's still in the books, but you're opening up a spot, though. That's the only thing.
Oh, right. But what I'm saying, too, is that next year he's an expiring contract. You know what I mean? So can't you figure out a way to move that expiring deal at the very least? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe
I get it if you're gonna do it for like the right reason. You bring in a certain player. I'm sorry, Miles Turner is not one of those players. I'm sorry. I'm not waving Lillard to go and get Turner. Like, you're basically getting a younger Lopez.
Yeah, but that's what they need. They don't have it. They don't have a center. Lopez is gone. So who's going to fill that? Like, that's the going rate for a center, like a starting center in the league. Mm-hmm. It's not ideal, right? Because you obviously you're losing Dame, but I mean, realistically, what else would they do? There's not much moves they could have made.
I'm not going.
And I'm not saying ethically and all that. Yeah, you're right, but if I don't know if Giannis wanted to spend 1 year waiting around, nor do I think, like, to your point, see that was the right move to keep Giannis. But they had to do something.
Well, I think to me that's something. I think they've pretty much run out. If that was your move to, like, you have no more cards left on the table. To me, I just look to just talk to Giannis and see where he wants to go.
I think they're
out there and try to get some young players as a picks back. Because they don't got anything. They don't own like any of their picks to like the next 5 years, and they don't have any young guys to even speak of on the team. Just start over.
So they got to salvage that. I think they already know Giannis is leaving. They got to start making moves now. Because you're telling me, even with Dame being out for majority of the season next, they're not contending for a championship.
No.
And clearly Giannis wants to win. So at the end of the day, if Giannis says, "Listen, I want to win," you don't have the pieces right now anyway. So at the end of the day, Giannis he's good as gone already. So I don't know why we're all talking about him actually staying in Milwaukee, because we're talking about Kevin Porter, Gary Trent, Kyle Kuzma, Giannis, and then Miles Turner. I don't see that being a winning recipe. You might not even get out of the second round with that. You might be a playing team. Actually,
that's it. Even that's what they say. They're going to struggle to make the play, even with Giannis being healthy. If God forbid Giannis goes down for 20 games, they're like deep in the lottery.
The only benefit I can see coming out of this is because there's not a lot of high-powered players on this team. Giannis, if he even remotely gets them close to a playoff spot within the 6 or 8 spot, he ends up looking like an MVP. He's an MVP candidate at that point, because everyone's going to say, "Yo, he had no real help. He lost Dame, and this guy came in killing, and no one can stop him, and he still got these guys to the playoffs, and they can get swept, but they'll be like, nah, man, it's MVP candidate talk at least." I don't know if he'll win it, but he'll be in that category still. But I don't know. Milwaukee, good luck to them, man. Honestly, if you're going to make those moves, make it now, please.
He has 3 more years left on his contract. 3 more years?
Who, Giannis?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
I think he's got 2 more. I think he's in expiring after next summer. He has 2 years left on the books.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was just curious because if it's 1 year left, they need to trade him now. Because
no, it's not 1 year yet left. I think it's like 2.
It sounds like
it's like 2 years.
2 more years.
Yeah,
including next year, upcoming season.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, there's 2 years left. So I don't know. To me, I'm like, if you're gonna do that, I think the other thing it shows you too is that with all these the new money that's coming in the league, or the TV contracts and some of these new owners coming in, and they're trying to go after like tech and hedge fund guys and all this multi-billion dollar owners and stuff. Nobody wants to spend any luxury tax. Like that's all hard this cap is. Like it's this first apron, second apron thing. Like it is so hard. Like you're seeing it. Nobody wants to pay this tax. Indiana, like by all accounts, Turner wanted to stay in Indiana, and they were like, if Halliburton's hurt, we don't want to go above the luxury tax. Like no, and I don't even think they were going to hit the second apron by doing it. I think they just would have been in the first apron, but that was enough for them to be like, nah, we good.
But that's great for the NBA. That's why you have the tax in there to suppress owners from just paying off players or paying off guys to come to the team and making it like the MLB and the Yankees. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see everybody going to LA and everybody going to New York. So this is great in my eyes, right? And make them better balance the books, better manage who you sign, who you trade for. So but I hear you, right? As Indiana's not winning next year.
No, for sure.
Right? So why stay in the tax? Are you crazy?
To go to your point for Giannis, he's got 2 plus 1. He got 57, 62, and then 66 on a player option.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so Milwaukee's
still making it to that third year. He's going to just extend whether it's Milwaukee, wherever he goes by. Yeah. But go on, Julian.
No. I was just saying that Indiana's not going nowhere next year. And they won't even make the playoffs next year, I don't think. Even with Siakam balling or whatnot, I don't think they're making the playoffs. Without Turner, Halliburton, no, I don't see it happening. So why stay in the tax? Why pay tax? Why resign guys? I get it from a business standpoint. I get it from a fan standpoint, player standpoint. That sucks.
Do you see Boston? Do you see Boston going to the playoffs over Indiana?
Sorry?
Do you see Boston going to the playoffs over Indiana?
Yeah.
Really?
See Boston making the playoffs. Yeah.
Over Indiana?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
Well, it depends. They lost KP. Hold on. They lost Porzingis, Tatum. Anybody else?
Cornette. Their backup center. They might lose. They might lose Al Horford.
Al Horford, Cornette.
Yeah. Holiday.
Holiday too. They got Pritchard. I'm not saying he's a Holiday player. No. Hold on. I'm just saying like there's a gap filler for some of those players. That's a tough one.
Yeah,
Jaylen Brown, like I don't know, give Jaylen Brown now the ball like he had it before, but he's gonna get more.
Yeah, and now is the easier scouting report. I don't think so.
Yeah, the easier scouting report, but he also has more shot attempts up. He'll get some more shot attempts up for sure. But I don't know. I that's a tough one. I think they'll be like around the same spot playing team. The East is wide open. I don't know. The East is wide open. Other than New York, maybe Cleveland.
Atlanta.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Atlanta?
Yeah, they loaded up nice.
I like the move that Atlanta made.
But going back to Indiana for a second, I see them I can actually see them still making the playoffs. Like they'll be the lower seed. They won't be one of the top seeds, obviously, but I can honestly, and I expect an increase in production from the two Canadians on that squad. I think it's a great opportunity for them hard. And I mean, Mathurin, the average like 18 points off the bench. It's probably going to go up a little bit next year.
Yeah.
So I see production from both of those guys, and I think the way they play, they'll stick around at least. They'll fight for the playoff spot for sure. I think.
Now you say that I don't know about Boston. They lost too much. And and especially if Tatum's not there, Batch is right. The scouting report. I mean, again, I don't know if he can carry that squad.
He's going to be working, man. He's going to be exhausted.
With just his right hand too.
I never said Boston was going to go to the final. The question was, do I think they're a better team?
Batch, you keep that.
Yeah. Oh man.
He can go left now. With
his right hand.
But they still can't stop him. He still had a great year last year.
Yeah.
Nah, he's a good player. I'm not taking anything away.
So can I ask this question then? I have to ask this then. I mean, if you're saying that Indiana won't make the playoffs, but Boston may, sorry, who do you see being the number one seed?
New York.
Yeah.
I still think Cleveland's gonna have a good year. I mean,
I disagree with all you guys.
I think Cleveland. I think will be in the mix. New York definitely be in the mix. Orlando will be in the mix, and the Hawks will be in the mix.
Yo, okay, hold on.
But
Cal, you about to be surprised on what I'm about to say right now. I think Philadelphia's about to be the number one seed, man. I love how you're laughing though.
That is hilarious. That is now you're laughing at my Knicks pick, and I'm not even a Knicks fan, and you're saying off-injured Embiid, Mr. IR is going to be.
I can guarantee that the Knicks will be a lower seed than the Philadelphia 76ers. Cal,
man.
make sure you get this. Make sure you get this. Keep this in the vault, please.
Oh, we will.
Yeah, please.
We will.
But Ben, you're
just bragging about your fantasy team, Batch.
No. I'm not doing that. We got to be realistic here. We have to be realistic here because I understand the injury side of things, but this is the next thing about it. Joel Embiid is probably not going to be playing no 80 games, no 70 games. He probably plays 60 some odd games. You stretch him out the same way you did with Kawhi Leonard. What coach dealt with that? The same coach he has now. You still have Paul George. Mind you, he's kind of breaking apart, but you still have Tyrese Maxey, Quinn Grimes.
Mind you.
Wow, okay. Hey, I love it, though.
Take is one of the best hot takes, man. This is a great one.
Yeah, it's okay, though. But you guys think that Cleveland's going to do it. You don't even know Darius Garland's going to be on the same team.
Embiid's not playing no 60 games next year.
You don't think he's playing 60 games?
He doesn't play back-to-backs.
I don't even think he played. He might have played 60 games once, and that was his MVP year. Maybe that might have been the only.
And that was like barely 60 games.
Barely, and they had to make rules. They had to circumvent, make rules for him. Like
I don't know. I don't know. I think Paul George.
How old is Paul George now?
He's cooked.
He's gonna get healthier next year.
He's cooked. Maxey can't. I love Maxey, but Maxey can't do it.
Maxey. Now that's
and I don't.
Maxey,
this is wow, man. Home. You got
okay.
If they I mean, they'll be lucky if they can skeet in the middle of the pack.
That's how y'all feel.
Oh, how I feel. That's how they did last year. What's the difference?
New year, man.
How I feel.
New year.
No, last year they came in. Even last year, I don't think we had them. Maybe we had them around top 3, top 4.
I think we had him
we had him ranked before the season started because they just acquired Paul George.
Yeah, I think we had him like 4th.
Embiid and Maxey, those 3 alone can make anybody project.
Look, the talent was there.
Yeah,
I just don't see it. It's like Humpty Dumpty. You got to put that shit back together again, and I just don't see it. Like Embiid will be out for the first string, first probably quarter of the season. Right? He'll come in. You have to ease him back in. I'm not saying they can't do well towards the end, but I don't see them making a run to no chip.
He said himself, Brando, that he ain't playing any more back-to-back games.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, even take that aside. He's having surgery this offseason. By the time he gets back into playing, that's probably halfway through the season. That's the guy that's supposed to carry you to the first seed.
He's not going to be the same player.
No, that's why I'm like, I don't see it. And Paul George? So who do you have?
Well, he already had the surgery, no?
He already had the surgery. Man, he's been sitting out for, damn near half the season last season.
Yeah, and he's going to continue sitting out the first half anyway.
Oh, this is wow. Yo, you guys are on right now.
You have to first? Wait, first overall, right?
First as the number one pick? Or are you talking about his draft?
I said maybe the Knicks. I don't know. I think the Knicks has the best chance. You think Philly has the best chance of finishing first overall?
100%.
Correct?
100%.
Correct?
I said that with confidence. Absolute confidence.
I like it. Okay. All right. We'll see.
Hey, man.
I want to make sure I remember this moment in time when Batch is like an Embiid fan.
No, I'm not an Embiid fan. I'm not an Embiid fan. No. We got to get that straight. I'm not an Embiid fan.
Hold on. Didn't you pick when I dropped Embiid on the waivers? Did you pick him up?
You're damn right I did. You're damn right I did.
Yo, I was holding on to that man for years, right?
The crazy is, I don't believe in that guy.
You was like that girl hoping her man would change.
Yo,
that's what
my playoffs hopes were done. So the moment that you dropped him, I was like, man, you know what? The last time I rolled the dice, I ended up winning the whole thing. Let me roll the dice again and let me put the team together and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I took a screenshot of my team because you can't log on during the offseason. So I was like, let me just see what I have. I showed Cal already. Y'all might want to be careful with that. I'm just saying.
Like I said, Randall was holding on like that girl trying to get her man to change, and then he broke up with her, and then here comes Joe from the music video walking down the alleyway trying to scoop up Embiid.
Yo, it's no different than AP when he was holding on Ben Simmons.
Oh man.
I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
Oh, man.
Yo, Embiid is a talent. Embiid is a talent, but man, that trust the process crew, yeah, it's done.
I think that
That's
time
what I'm
has
saying.
come.
If you see the Joel Embiid where he really wants to hoop, that's what I'm banking on. And the thing is, with Morey being as greasy as he is, and seeing how teams are moving now, you have no choice but to make sure that this guy is put in a certain position in order to win. So if that means you got to sit him a couple games, that's fine. You got a backup in Adam Bona. Hey, I believe in that young man. He's good. He's solid. But at the same time, you spending money on Paul George at $51 million, boy, you got to make that make sense. You picked him up for a reason, so make it happen.
Did they pick up Grimes? Did they re-sign Grimes or not yet?
He's a restricted. He's restricted. They're
probably gonna. I think they might re-sign him back, depending on who.
But we got to remember, he's not an offensive player. He's a defensive player, but he could get buckets.
Yeah.
Grimes is he's an offensive player.
He's a defensive player.
No, but he could score.
But that's what I'm saying. But he's really a defensive player. His role is to be a defensive player.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He had to score because there's no one left to play.
On Philly, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they were getting.
He got them buckets. And then we got to remember the nail polish point guard. Like he's coming back.
Oh, McCain, Jeremy McCain. He's actually solid too.
And he's legit. Oh, he's legit.
Yeah,
he's legit.
Yeah,
he's legit. And I don't know how you guys feel about Edgecombe, but I mean, you're getting some athleticism and use in the backcourt.
I like Edgecombe. a lot.
Listen, am I talking shit right now?
Scare me though. None of
remember the last podcast I was like, yo, does Philly have an actual shot here if they can stay healthy? Like they might have a shot here.
Listen, but on paper, I think the Raptors have a better team than Philly on paper.
What?
Okay.
Whoa,
on paper.
Whoa.
No, I'm telling you.
On paper.
Barnes, Ingram, Pirtle, Barrett, quickly. On paper, I'm not saying they're the better team. On paper, that's a better list of players than and considering health. I'm not talking about prime Embiid. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about prime PG in Indiana. I'm not talking about on paper.
Let's just say, right? Embiid is healthy, and George is healthy, and they're able to play close to 70 games. They are a better team.
Oh, way better.
By far.
But they are not
on paper.
I'm talking about on paper today, not on paper healthy Embiid. On paper healthy George. I'm not talking about 5-6 years ago. I'm talking about 2025, 2026. On paper, Raptors have a better team. On paper.
Okay,
No,
hold on.
I think-
Hold on.
I was gonna say, hold on. I think that Ovechkin shirt is blinding you from the
crazy.
left side.
Yeah,
You're crazy.
Some juju out there or something, man. I don't know what's going on over
You're
there.
crazy. On paper. On paper.
On paper?
In
So
fact,
you're saying
starting five. Starting
so you're
five.
saying-
Starting five.
matchup wise, quickly.
25 is a better starting five than Philly right now.
Hold on. Wait a second. So you're telling me matchup wise, quickly is better than Maxey?
No.
Who's the shooting
All right,
guard?
keep going.
right
Keep
now?
going. Keep going.
Who's the shooting guard for Toronto right now?
It would probably
RJ.
be Barrett right now.
I'll be RJ.
RJ?
Right now on paper, it's RJ.
Okay.
Okay.
So the alleged starting shooting guard right now for Philly is supposed to be Quentin Grimes. So RJ is a better player than Quentin Grimes?
I think so.
Asking. Hold on, Randall. Are you asking?
I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
So now your third player is
Ingram.
Ingram.
Small
Ingram.
forward.
okay. Yeah, got me on there. Bi, he's crazy. So he's
That's two.
a better
Two to
player.
one.
So
Then
now
Scott Barnes.
Paul George,
Barnes.
Scotty Barnes. Who's the better player?
Ooh.
Over who? Paul George?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I would not trade Barnes for Paul George right now.
No, who's the better player is the question though.
Barnes is the better player than Paul George right now. The Paul
Yeah.
George of last year. Yes, he is.
Yes,
And he
yeah.
put up better numbers too.
Now, this is where you don't know,
Pirtle?
right?
What? Pirtle's better than Joel Embiid?
No. But
Man, I'll log off right now.
A healthy Pirtle is not that far off than a broken Embiid. Like, if you would have asked me if I would have Pirtle for 70 games or an Embiid for 30, I'm taking Pirtle.
Yo, I can't wait for the schedule release to come out.
You
Hey,
can't argue. So
whenever
you see,
Toronto plays
I'm
Philly,
like,
I want to be at
it's
your
not even
house.
that far off. Even
I wanna
if you
be at
didn't
your house,
agree
bro.
with me, you know it's closer than you had initially had thought. 100%. On paper, I've never said that they are the better team. On paper, I said that like 7 times. On paper, Ingram, Barnes, quickly, quickly not better than Maxey, but like on paper, quickly, RJ and Pirtle, for sure. In fact, they have, I think, top 4 teams on paper in the East. Top
Whoa.
4.
Who does?
Top 4 on paper. Now, can they make it work? Probably not.
Like on
Top-
2K?
Top,
You
top,
must be talking about
top
2K. With
five.
the sliders up.
Top 4 on paper.
No.
NBA Live, right?
Yo, with the sliders up.
Hold on. Is Cleveland better than them on paper?
Better than who?
Ooh.
Raptors.
Cleveland. Hell yeah, they're better than the Raptors. Well,
Who's
Okay,
better on
right.
paper?
We're not even gonna talk. Knicks are better. Orlando's now better.
Knicks is better.
think
Knicks are better.
Atlanta right now on paper are better.
Atlanta's better.
Yes, Orlando
Detroit's better.
Knicks, Orlando.
Detroit's better. Well,
On
Detroit
paper?
might be on paper. Detroit might be close on paper.
no. Hey,
Close, but not better than Toronto.
No,
what
it's
is
not.
happening right now?
You got to remember, last year Toronto was tanking. Let me sit up straight here now because
Hold on, no. Hold on. Before you go, no disrespect to the Raptors, but what you're saying is low key blasphemous. What are you saying right now?
I'm saying on paper the names like Bi, Barnes, Quickly, and RJ. Those 4, you can throw in Pirtle, is a great starting 5 in the East on paper. That's what I'm saying.
Who's your number
And-
one? Who's your number one?
Number 1 player, I would say like be scorer.
Who's your number one on the Raptors right now?
Got to be in scoring Ingram. I would say Ingram is the scorer.
I'm so
Best
glad
player.
you said that because anyhow you would have said RJ, Cal would have said,
No.
"Good night, I'll talk to you tomorrow, bro."
No.
Who's your number 2 then?
A go-to bucket, it's got to be Ingram, the best scorer.
Who's your number 2 then?
Scorer?
RJ.
No, you better not say number 2 is RJ.
I would say
Why
either
not?
Barnes or
RJ. RJ scored.
RJ scored like I don't. RJ had career highs last year, almost averaging almost.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
even in New
He's
York,
not
he
your
was
number
averaging
two.
over 15 points. That's what he does. He puts.
He's not your number 2. He's a volume shooter. He's not your number 2.
Don't say IQ and don't say Barnes. Who else is there?
No, IQ's your number 2.
Come on, man.
Anyhow, Calvin, I'm just saying you can get back to your point, but I'm just saying you can't look at last year Toronto when they were holding guys out. Quickly's injured and they're tanking. You can't use that as last year. You got to look at the acquisition of Ingram.
I know that.
You can't. You got to look at Pirtle. Like, you got to look at the starting five. I don't know how you guys think it's blasphemous. You guys think Toronto's going to make the playoffs? Yes or no?
They might.
They might. I think there'll be a lower seed, but they may.
Yeah. They will. The East is terrible.
Hold on. Who do you have in the top? Who do you have in the top 8 then?
I can tell you now, Indy and Boston are playing teams. The teams that made it in are not going to be there next year. Like those two teams right there are not going to be there next year.
So you got Cleveland, you got New York, you got Detroit, you got Orlando, you got Atlanta. So
Philly.
So now
he doesn't know. He thinks Raptors are better than Philly. So Philly.
Yeah, Toronto's over Philly. That's for sure.
Over Philly. So I didn't even name Philly yet. So okay, so you got Toronto, and then you got Philly, and then the last one is up for grabs.
Well, it's not Charlotte, Chicago. Who else is not in it?
Brooklyn.
It's not Brooklyn. No, it's not Brooklyn.
Chicago?
No. So I don't know. The East is wide open. Like, you may not like Toronto's team, but the East is shit.
No.
Oh, the Bucks.
I never said I didn't like the team. I just said they're not better than Philly. That's all I'm saying.
What about the Bucks?
I said they were top 4 on paper. I never said they're going to finish top 4.
Okay, well, they're definitely not. They're definitely not top 4.
Miami.
Hold on. Why are you guys dismissing Chicago as being like a decent team?
I don't know because they didn't do that bad, but
I was about to say the second half of the season they were pretty strong.
They didn't do anything, I thought, in the offseason. Did they do anything? And they wanted to let go. The Vucevic, is he still there? He's still
there. All they did was flip Lonzo Ball for Okoro, which I didn't really quite understand because Okoro is just whatever.
They didn't make any additions. Like
they got defense now.
And they needed to fix some holes there. They looked better last year with Giddey. I'll say that.
And I think White and Giddey are up for extensions, which you're probably gonna have to sign them.
Giddey's restricted right now.
I think they re-up Giddey. They re-up Giddey. Didn't they re-up Giddey? And now they're
he's just restricted. So
Raptors are better than Chicago.
Oh yeah, I know that. There's no question.
That's fair, but Chicago's not a slouch down. I'm not.
He said top 4. But he said top 4.
No, we said who's making the playoffs.
No, but he said Toronto's top 4.
No, he said on paper.
On paper, I said it like 30 times. On paper.
Okay, on paper they're not even top 4.
Well, I think so.
They're not better on paper than Orlando. They're not better on paper than Cleveland. Not better on paper than Detroit. If you want to go to, they're not even better on paper than Atlanta.
Detroit, on paper, I think they're better.
Oh man, I'm about to.
Durant, whatever. Jalen Durant, Cunningham, right?
Yeah. Tobias, Jay Ivey.
Toronto has nobody on the team.
Tobias Harris not better than Barnes. Okay, go on.
Who's not better than Barnes?
You said Tobias Harris not better than Barnes.
He's not.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
But we're talking about the roster itself. We're talking about the roster itself.
Right. I'm just
saying.
And
then they have a Sir Thompson. The other two.
Yeah, and you're forgetting Ivy's coming back.
Yeah, I already mentioned Ivy.
Okay.
Ivy, like those guys, like they have a high ceiling and they have a solid future. But like on paper, as of right now, they're not better than than Barnes and RJ.
They just picked up Karis LeVert too, so I don't know what you're talking about.
LeVert,
come on, man.
Since he left Brooklyn and he had that like scare with that heart issue, he has never been the same. Teams are just letting him go. Every team he comes to, Atlanta, they're just letting him go. They don't like what they're seeing. My point is, though, on paper, Toronto looks better than Detroit on paper. I'm not saying they're the better team right now next year. I'm saying,
hey, who do you work for?
Who, me?
Yeah. You work for Rogers or something?
No.
Do you think the Bucks? I'm
telling you, with Ingram and Barnes and Pirtle, right there, those three players are nice. I don't know.
But hold on. Do you think the Bucks still can make the playoffs?
No.
Negative.
No.
They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight for playing. I feel like there should be some bets happening between for this Raptor versus Philly thing. I think y'all need to make that happen.
That series, Raptors will lose. The Raptors will probably lose all those games against Philly. Easy.
I think everybody's forgetting that Ingram wasn't on the team last year. Okay, that's one thing. And I think everybody's forgetting that they were tanking all last year.
No, I
No,
know that.
I'm not forgetting. Listen. I just don't know if they, when they were all playing together. I didn't look outside of Ingram, right? I didn't see the cohesiveness with the rest of the squad, right? So is Ingram that good to push him over? I don't know. Like a healthy Ingram that was all-star could, but I don't know. Like I don't think that team. I'm not a big IQ fan, so I don't like. I'm not a big. I like RJ, but I don't see the fit with this team. They have good individual talent, like you said, on paper. Yeah, it's like a fantasy team, right? On paper, but as a cohesive unit, I don't know, man.
Well, let's give them a chance to play together, go through training camp together, stay healthy together, and play more than like 20, 30 games together.
RJ and BI play the same position. How's that gonna work?
They do?
Yeah, they're the three.
Well,
RJ's
RJ's more of a 3 than he's a 2.
He is, but RJ's shot is outside shots a lot better than anybody probably on that roster.
He ain't. Listen, if I had to pick the two, if I had to pick between the two, BI and RJ, I'm telling you right now, RJ. See you later, man. I'm picking BI.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm saying that. I'm just talking about. Look, if you're looking at what they can bring to the table, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're right. RJ's more of a 3, absolutely. But the thing that has RJ able to play the 2 is 2 things. One is he can guard the 2, and the other thing is he's probably one of the best shooters on the team, outside shooter.
I don't know if say outside.
No, he ain't the best outside shooter on the team, though.
No.
What was his percentage?
He ain't the best outside shooter on that team.
Better last year. He shot the ball better last year, but
he had one of the best shooting percentages on the Raptors.
You may be talking about field goal percentage, but not 3-point.
Yeah, but that's not saying a ton.
No. He's not really. He shot the ball well.
He was like 36% last year,
but he ain't the best shooter. But to be
honest,
I'm
just saying what his stats are. I'm saying that who else's IQ is erratic as well. You can't say that he was a great shooter. He might be considered a better shooter, but he didn't shoot the ball that well. Let's be honest.
Better shooter. He's a natural better shooter.
Well, if you're talking about a team that shot 23, the 23rd in the league.
Yeah, we're shooting team.
So we're really.
But on that starting lineup,
they're all terrible at shooting threes.
But on that starting lineup, who shoots threes?
That's the problem. They don't have a pure shooter. They don't.
Correct.
That's what they needed to address. They needed to address that in the offseason.
I'm not saying that. Listen, RJ is a decent player. I'm not saying like he's probably more of a come off the bench, like you said, come off the bench and score guy rather than the starter. And you can come and play him at the 3, right? And let him go off and do what he does, volume shooter, or scorer. Sorry, I think they're missing a 2, right?
I think that's why you heard RJ's name in trade rumors all.
Yeah. Him and they all Scotty, Ingram, RJ, they all occupy the same kind of area in scoring.
Yeah, but not on the floor. Like Ingram could put the ball. Like I think Ingram's a better ball handler, better creator. He's a better.
Well, I'm not saying. I'm saying where they score. If you look at a shot chart, right?
Yeah. No, So, but yeah, we definitely need shooting. Sorry, Calvin. Go back to your itinerary.
No, it's all good, man. I love the conversation. I'm looking at this because, like I said, I want y'all to gamble. I want y'all to follow the spirit of Malik Beasley here. But I want to know from you guys, like with the recent situation that he might end up getting Jonte, and seeing that you guys are all familiar with placing a bet or two. Not myself because I'm clean and I'm not a heathen. With that said, though,
I'm a heathen.
Are any of you guys surprised that this situation is happening and or can possibly continue to happen? Because
no,
I don't think anybody should be shocked by these scandals that are quote unquote happening in the league or possibly other sports.
No, it's starting to make sense to me though, because Beasley has been one of the few players where I would plug into a FanDuel lineup and he'll play like absolute shit. And I'm like, how the hell do you play like that? And now it makes sense. So anybody that has a questionable night, you are on my investigative list. There's something wrong.
No, he had a good year last year. He played well last year, and that's why the FBI investigation said 2023, 2024. So the year before last year. Last year he balled out. It was a contract year. He was about to get the bag, actually, as a matter of fact. But like I'm always shocked because it's a bit of a disappointment shock. Like how you have millions of dollars. And when I hear like football players or any professional athlete going bankrupt, it's always a shock because it's more like of a disappointment shock.
Yeah.
But for him, he's more of a knucklehead type dude, though. I hope you guys know that. Like this is the way he carries himself on the court, and like the whole Larsa Pippen type shit. Like, and not to say that makes you a knucklehead, but like to me, no, it kind of does in a way, right? But to me, I'm not shocked that it was really him that was in debt. But did you hear the actual details of his debt?
No,
I heard some of it.
That was his dental bills.
Dental bills, rent, barber
haircuts, the haircuts. Yo, slide the man 100 and keep it moving.
Yo, let's address the haircuts. Because guys are charging, like there's barbers that are charging like $100 for a haircut. Even if you're trying to be fresh to death every week, that's still what 26 haircuts, maybe 30 haircuts if you make the playoffs. Because he's not staying in Milwaukee all year. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, that's still like $2,600. You know what I'm saying?
Celebrity barber.
Maybe $4 or $5 grand at most. 26,000.
How are you in debt, knowing you're in debt, and just continue to accumulate wasteful debt, like to a barber? Like stuff like this is like, that's what I'm shocked. Like those details, and I'm hoping that it's not true. But
I hope so too.
It is true.
I hope it's not true. I hope.
Man, there's a lawsuit.
I know, but it's alleged until you're found guilty and you lose.
They said apparently that the dentist was garnishing his wages.
Yeah, and still didn't get all the money. So what does that tell you?
Millions of dollars. This is not like CFL money, man. This is like real millions, and he has none of it.
So how much did he owe his barber?
Like 26 grand.
Was it 26? I thought it was like 30 something.
Right. No, it's still not a lot compared to NBA dollars, but it's
But you're in Milwaukee. Where are you going?
No, but that's even worse. It's not considered a lot. Why are you not paying the bill?
He didn't pay rent. He didn't even pay his rent.
That's wild to me. Yo, you make millions of dollars. Why are you not paying your bills?
And then he took out a loan. Did you read? He took out a loan.
Got a loan. What do you do?
A lender that kind of like banked his future contract dollars. That's why they gave him that money as collateral.
Wow.
Now he's not getting this future contract. Nobody's signing him now. He was about to sign, and this story leaked just before he's about to sign with Detroit.
Yeah.
Now that lender is fucked.
How much was he forecasted to sign for?
43.
Oh, it's a pretty good bag though. I think
it's like 3-year deal, like 40, 42, 43 mil.
40, okay, 340. I thought it was
at least 14, like around 14 mil at least.
And he deserved that. Like,
yeah, he did.
I think he led the league in 3-pointers last year. I think.
Yeah.
I think he did.
That shimmy shaking motherfucking man. Listen.
Yeah.
Stop gambling. All signs point to him gambling. He's chill out.
100%. Because if he's able to be that reckless in terms of managing his money, he's that type of person to take risks in terms of gambling on his own props and whatnot. Because he don't give 2 fucks. He has no conscience. It's crazy to me, man.
But to me, what's crazy is as a pro athlete, especially in the NBA where there's so much money to be made now, I'm like, to me, there's no benefit of the short-term effect of gambling. Like, how much are you gonna make? Like when you have a possibility, I mean, and he's on the lower end, but I'm like, with some of these guys and they're making 30, 40 million, it's not worth it to place these bets. Like, you understand like actually I don't understand Ajante, because Ajante could have got himself a little bit of money had he just played it straight. But for some of these guys, it doesn't make sense to them for them to at least to gamble and do all that stuff, and have Julie and the commission come in and put that bug in my ear, like, yo, you tank this game, I'll give you $50,000. Who cares? Like I can make that if I just ball hard for 6 months. I'm gonna make way more.
Not if you put $1 million on it.
That too. It's easy money. You're pretty much dictating the game, like the end result. That's guaranteed money. There's very few things in this life that has that amount of money in return that's guaranteed. So I can see the risk, right?
And then think about it. Depending on where you gamble that money at, that ends up coming back to you tax free. Why wouldn't you?
And it's fast money in one night. You can make that in one night. So I can see the desire of chasing the money, and he's already in debt, so he's trying to get out of it and whatever, right? But it's not worth it. It's not, as you're saying, Calvin, it's not worth the risk. It's not worth the risk. It's like guaranteed money, they think, right? It's not the thrill, because they can gamble in other sports, right? Football and other, it's not the thrill, right? It's for that money, and they feel it's easy money.
You got to know your limits, man.
But this is the thing of sports coming, like sports and gambling meshing together, right? Like you're kind of inviting these new avenues that are going to be created, right? Kind of like the multiverse, where like new lanes are being created. Like that's how it's gonna happen. Like
right. He's not the only one. He's not the only one.
I don't think he's the only professional. I was about to say I don't think he's the only like basketball player or athlete, period, college or pro, that are looking at these things. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like college to me would be the easiest one to get. You know what I mean? Depending on who you are, especially if you know you're not making the league. Like like it's like those avenues now. It's like you got to be like for that. I know they're inviting all this gambling money because there's so much money to be made, especially all these gambling apps that are popping up and stuff. Like Bet365, DraftKings. I mean, there's a ton of them now, right? But it's like you're inviting these problems. Like you're making it illegal to gamble, so somebody's gonna take advantage. You know what I mean?
And that's the American way, man. Like that's the culture. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Making fast money illegally, especially in this day and age. What's going on down there, right? It's like it's almost acceptable. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. It's probably like, to me, it's like the American way.
Yeah, it's like it's like that Scarface meme with the money clip just generated, and so send them laughing. That's what
that's the culture now, man. This is money over everything possible, right? Yeah. Money over everything. So
I mean that concept has never changed, though. I don't think.
Yeah, I think, but it has not changed, but it's gotten worse. Mm. It's into politics. It's into healthcare, food, everything, man. You can think everything.
It's in everything. But we'll wrap up with the winners and losers of the offseason so far. We'll start with the Lakers. Do you guys think winners or losers of the offseason with the Lakers?
Losers. Absolute losers, in my opinion. I think with Ayton signing there, I think first of all, the locker room is going to be fucked. The locker room is going to be fucked. Did you hear the allegations in Portland?
No.
Not only was he like kicked out of what team was he on before Portland again?
Phoenix.
Was it Phoenix?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. They wanted him out. He went to Portland and he did just like, I heard he wasn't showing up to practices, missing flights, disgruntled on the bench numerous occasions. They said, like, after getting pulled, just his attitude, like, is anyhow. You cannot win. I don't care. This is why Portland's just saying, get the fuck out of here. I think they just cut him, right? Like, they just waived him as well, right? They didn't want.
No, they bought him out.
So they bought him out. They didn't even try to trade him for a second round pick.
I think they tried to. They just weren't getting
nobody wanted him, right? But he's talented enough to be wanted, though. Let's be real. Like, he's talented to be a starting five, I think, in this day and age. Somewhere. Nobody wanted him. Everybody's heard how much of an attitude he has. So, like, you're going to bring that into your locker room? I can't wait for this train wreck to happen. I can't wait when LeBron or these other veterans or whoever's there now are going to have to rein him in because he misses, like, he's bench or he's not getting back on defense, or he's not rebounding, or he's not boxing up. Oh, man, it's a train wreck. I see them potentially waiving him midway through the season.
No, they won't do that.
All right.
He's their only center. That's the scary part.
Exactly. They can't waive him.
Attitude over everything. And when it comes to disrupting LeBron or the team or winning or a culture, I don't see them. I see them either stapling them to the bench or cutting them. But Lakers are so desperate right now, so they have no choice.
The only reason why I think he could be productive because it's a 2-year deal with a player option for the second year, and there's a world where he can go and just play hard for that 1 year, knowing that next year more teams are going to have cap space and try to see if we can get a little bit of a bigger bag. You got to be focused to do that. But I'm telling you, there's a world where that can happen. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think there's a world where you can say like, okay, he can focus in for 1 year. I mean, he did play on a team that did make it to finals 1 year, right? Just a few years back, right?
It doesn't matter if you lack that maturity, that intelligence, emotional intelligence, whatever you want to call it, you're never going to be that player that you're talking about. Putting it together and buckling down and being a team player and just hooping.
Yeah,
he can't do it.
He's the basketball son of Joe Barely Cares. Like that's basically 100%. Who he is right now.
I mean, like you guys said, even on the free, like LA was super desperate, but a team that I thought like just his skill, talent wise, that he could have filled in some gaps and played well with was Indiana, right? And I didn't hear any rumors about him. So I mean, right away it was LA. I mean, there is, like you said, in the multiverse, an opportunity for him to come in and do well under the circumstance he's with. Like, who knows what his attitude is like, right? Did he think he was bigger than now playing with certain teams, right? Like maybe he felt he was big time in all those guys in Portland because there was nobody there, right?
Right. He had a second chance in Portland. That was his second chance, not the first.
I'm just playing.
Remember him and Monty Williams, the coach? They were going at it.
That was in Phoenix.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they cut him. That's why they traded him out.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted him out, man. Right? That was his second chance in Portland. When he got to Portland, he said, "Thank God I'm out of Phoenix. I got a fresh start." I saw the press conference. He said things that I thought he shouldn't have said about Phoenix, but he didn't care. Remember, he wanted that contract.
Yeah.
At one point, they were looking to re-up, and he wasn't getting it, and he was being disgruntled and shit like that. And we heard Monty Williams didn't want him to get it. So since then, he had that vendetta against Monty. Blah, blah, blah. Point is, he had a second chance in Portland. Same shit, but worse.
Yeah. But I think he thought he was going to be the man in Portland, too. So I think that played into part of it, too. But he didn't handle it well at all.
Well, if you can't be the man on a shitty team, then something's wrong with you.
Hey, I don't disagree.
They drafted Klingon. They drafted Klingon. Like, I could not. When I saw that last year, I said, okay, they fucking are going to get rid of like Ayton, or they knew already he wasn't going to be the future. They wanted to get rid of. They have at that point. They had like 4 centers on the team.
I was going to say they drafted another one too. That's the crazy
part.
Like
this year, right?
Yeah.
They said he's supposed to be. They say he's supposed to be the next Jokic, the Chinese version.
Oh, the Yang, yeah, another one. The writing was on the table when they drafted Klingon, and now Yang, they wanted no part of him. So Lakers, I'm waiting. This would be a great for entertainment for TV. What's gonna happen?
Hey, listen, man. In one of our chats, I was rooting for the Ayton to go to the Lakers because I want to see the train wreck too.
Wow, that's crazy.
I want to see the train wreck.
Who's their best defender?
Probably Ayton?
No, it's not.
Maybe Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt probably be the best defender.
Probably,
and then the rookie.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Connect. I don't know.
Is Hachimura still with the Lakers?
Who?
Hachimura?
Yeah.
Still with the Lakers, yeah.
Still there for now.
They've been trying to trade him too. But what's going on with Reeves? Like, he wants like the bag, and he's not signing unless he gets it, right?
Yeah. Thank you, LeBron.
Like, it's almost like he wants to be traded. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, maybe he sees the writing on the wall himself.
It's
the Luka era now, buddy. Y'all get used to that.
Well, maybe that's why he wants out. Maybe he's not going to get the touches.
Yeah. Think about the usage rates on those players. Luka is damn near close to 40. LeBron's going to be damn near mid-30s. Austin Reeves will be the next man up, probably in high 20s. Who's getting touches on that team?
Well, that's why we want Ayton to go to LA.
Yo, he's gonna be slamming cheers when he doesn't get a ball. He's gonna be slamming cheers.
But he doesn't do anything with the ball anyway. So
I know. Doesn't. Yeah, he's hot. He's garbage. First overall pick, right?
Yeah. Well, same draft as Luka.
Oh shit. Okay.
So Luka's probably laughing right now.
He's like, you work for me now. You work for me now. Denver, winners or losers?
Winners, I said.
Winners, but I don't see them top 3 though. I'm just gonna say that.
They got rid of Porter. Winners. That alone. You got rid of Porter.
And they brought back
Bruce Brown.
Brown.
Yeah.
That was a good pickup.
They're hoping that he can rekindle how he played in Denver in that championship run. Because since
I think
then,
he probably could. We'll see how he's used. We'll see how he's used.
He's been garbage. They brought in Valanciunas. I'm not saying like whatever. He's a backup. He's decent, serviceable.
I thought that was a good pickup.
Right? Right? Serviceable. He's a veteran team guy.
Yeah.
And then they brought Brown. And I like Cam Johnson. I think Denver's biggest issue that they didn't have really a pure shooter on the team, I think, last year. Like an outside shooter. It was only Porter. Porter was the only shooter. But he's a knucklehead. He's a trumper. All those guys, they wanted him out of here. Doesn't rebound. Doesn't do anything else.
Who doesn't rebound?
Porter.
Yes, he does. No. You're going too far now. He rebounds.
No, I'm not going too far. This is one thing. Any black that's a trumper from day one, I make mental notes on. Calvin would tell you, Rand would tell you, I do not forget it. He's a clear. Yo, listen, I can bring you articles. They wanted him to fuck out. Something's off in his brain. I'm telling you, the whole family's off. If you don't know about the family, the whole family's off in their brain. There's a reason why they wanted him out. There's a whole reason.
I think he hangs with Herschel Walker too.
He's just like Herschel Walker. Just like Herschel.
Hey, man. Hey, Julian, stop.
Like, I'm not black. I'm Dominican. He's one of those type of guys, like Porter. I'm telling you, 100%.
Julian,
he never said that.
Jonte was normal. Jonte was fine. Stop it.
The entire family was fucked in the head, man. It's weird. I'm telling you, that's why they wanted him out. Not only he didn't like play or produce how they wanted him to.
Yeah.
He's fucking crazy. He's weird. They wanted him out. In Brooklyn. I guarantee you. But Cam Johnson, you guys don't like Cam Johnson? I like him.
No, I do. I like the trade for them because I'm like, Cam Johnson pretty much gives you, more or less what Porter does, but he plays defense.
Exactly. Outside of the rebounding, he gives you everything else.
Yeah.
Right? And remember, Porter still has that back type shit injury. You're not sure.
Yeah.
Long term. So you get rid of him. You're lucky. You get rid of him. You bring in Cam Johnson,
and he costs like more than half the price.
Man, I like it. I like what they did, and I think with Brown, I don't like Brown, but him going back to Denver might rekindle something off the bench.
Yeah, I think that'll work. And then they brought in Hardaway Jr. as well, just to see.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's a great stuff.
Right. Yeah. He didn't have a great year last year, but he's another shooter off the bench. Right?
A shooter off the bench. Yeah.
You just like with Joker. I mean, right now he's at the peak of his powers. You need to surround him with, especially this era now. You got to surround him with a bench, like a good. Like you can't have those guys playing all those things. You're seeing like Gordon, these guys wearing down, right? So if you can, like give those guys breathers on certain nights. They still got the young guys on the team too that they're trying to like Strother and Watson and Braun and stuff like.
Yeah.
So they still got guys.
I like Braun.
Me too.
Yeah, they still got guys. But like I said, Joker's at the peak of his powers, man. So you gotta make sure that team is properly stocked. So
and he said in the offseason, we need shooters. He said to the media, I need shooters. And they delivered. So I give props to the management by listening, and they know the holes too. They don't need Joker to tell them. They know they don't have no shooters, and they brought in 2 shooters. I like it.
Joker said that. I never heard he said that.
At the end of the game, we don't have enough. We don't have it was only Jamal Murray and himself and Porter. Porter was hurt a couple of times in throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, he was done playoffs.
Yeah, he had a shoulder issue.
Said, we have no shooters. He goes, we need 3-point shooters. He said it straight up.
Well,
they got it, so I like it. Yeah. Winners.
Okay. What about well, we've been talking about them, so I'll let Batch have this one. Atlanta, big winners, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think for them, they already had their starting five. They filled their bench, and now they got defenders. That was one of the biggest problems that they had. They had no defenders, and now they got two, I believe. They got Nikhil, and who's the other one that they got?
Kennard. They picked up Kennard too.
No, Kennard. Well, he's a shooter for them. So
yeah,
that's
he's a shooter.
So they got Dyson Daniels, and they got Nikhil Alexander as a defender. So now you have one man in the first unit and the other one on the second unit. So now,
wait, but who else did they bring in this year? Like
Kennard, Nikhil, Porzingis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Porzingis. That's right.
Yeah. All 39 games of them.
Yeah, he's not gonna play a lot of games.
Here you guys go, man.
You know what? But it doesn't matter because they have what's his name that was his name, the rookie, the African center. I like him a lot. Yeah, and he came on at the end of the year. So if Porzingis plays 50% of the games, I'm fine with that because
I'm not afraid of Atlanta. As a Raptor fan, I like their team. I like Johnson. I like Jalen Johnson. That's my guy. That's the guy that I think is going to be like the star of the team in the future. But I'm still not afraid of Atlanta.
Listen, I like Risha Shea too. I think Risha.
Oh
Shea
yeah,
he has a high ceiling. Yeah,
prospect.
Give him a couple of years. Give those guys a couple of years, but not next year.
Ask him how the Raptors did.
And with the Ingram, I like the Ingram pickup in the offseason.
Yeah, talk about the Raptors. We got to get them on. We got to get them back on track, man.
I like that pickup. I like that pickup. And on paper, they're a better team than Atlanta.
Well, here we go. Yeah, here we go again.
Wildness. But I tell you though, I think they prove that sometimes the best move is not to panic and just because you remember a couple of years ago, or not even a couple of years ago, even like a year ago or less, they were talking about like, man, should they trade Trey and try to just try to get rid of him and stuff. And I think Trey to me had one of probably his best season. I think. Yeah, just the way he was facilitating and scoring, and like he did a great job last year. I mean, they got injured and stuff, but I thought he did a great job. And they kind of like they just filled in, they just plugged in the holes where they needed to. I thought it was great.
When they wanted to trade Trey, it wasn't because of his on-court play. It was the off-the-court stuff.
Oh no, I know. Yeah.
Coaching. Remember, he got that coach fired. What's his name? The black coach.
Yeah, Pierce.
And, who?
Lloyd Pierce.
Lloyd Pierce. He got him fired, right? And then, why am I thinking McMillan? But yeah, Lloyd Pierce. But like, then there was
crime.
What's that?
It's a dark skin crime.
Yeah, I thought McMillan. I mean, another team. But yeah,
but like McMillan too. Actually, that was it was popping in my head.
I sort of. It might have been two coaches. Was McMillan the before?
Yeah, McMillan was the
first. Yeah, McMillan, you're right.
I'm telling you, there were two coaches, man.
Yeah,
listen,
you're right.
I know my shit. He got in there with two coaches, man. And it was to the point where, like, yo, we got to do something with this guy because this guy thinks he's above the team. That's the only reason why they wanted to trade him out. He has issues off the court with the team, like not gelling or whatever. That was the problem. But not his. He had a great year last year, though. I'll give him that.
Okay. Finally. Toronto, winners or losers?
Okay, I'll be honest. They were losers, like because they didn't do anything.
All right.
They didn't do anything.
Wow. And they lost. Losers?
Losers.
Wow.
Losers because they lost Masai.
I actually disagree.
And they didn't make any. I thought I wanted to trade down in the draft. Personally.
For what?
For why did I want them to trade down?
Yeah.
Because I think the pick that they got could have been taken lower. Could have been gotten maybe at 15 or 14. Personally, I didn't see him in the mocks. When I looked at the game tapes and all that stuff, I didn't think he was top 10. I didn't think so. But so that's why I'm okay. But I know they were trying to trade down from all the rumors, the RJ to Brooklyn for Cam Johnson and all these rumors I kept on hearing. And they admitted it. Webster was like, yo, we tried to make some trades. It didn't happen. Blah, blah, blah. But to me, if it didn't happen, you're a loser. To answer Calvin's question, we lost because we didn't get those trades that what we wanted. So I think It's still not over yet. I think there's still moves to be made, but as of now, yeah.
What moves?
I think RJ. I think they still have an asset in RJ, and I think RJ doesn't fit. We need a shooter. We need a pure two guard. Like Grady Dick is a good off the bench player. I like how he played and developed last year. Right. I think he's a great two guard off the bench, but I don't think he's ready to be a starter in my eyes. So I think with RJ, you can bring in a two guard that can, like a Derek White type player that can handle the ball and score and shoot. That would be the ideal. I'm not saying RJ is worth Derek White. I'm saying a Derek White type player that can handle the ball and shoot. Because right now I don't like Shed or as the backup point guard either.
Yeah.
Right? I need somebody else that can dribble the ball and they shoot and control the court like a Quickly, but that can shoot. So,
but you have three ball handlers already on the team on the first unit.
That can shoot. I need a guy that's a pure shooter.
So then,
that can dribble.
So then, why are you trading RJ for another big timer?
RJ's not a pure dribbler. He's not a point guard in my eyes, like a point guard shooting guard type player. He's more of a shooting guard small forward type player.
So would you rather 4 high-powered offensive guys on your first unit as opposed to 3?
Would I rather a high-powered
four high-powered offensive guys on your first unit as opposed to 3?
4.
Because that's what you have right now. You have 4 high-powered offensive guys on that team.
Okay. Yeah.
That
and I want a shooting guard. I want a pure shooter. I don't care what I'm trying to make it understand. I want a shooting guard. I don't want RJ as a 2. Listen to me. I want to be clear. I like RJ. I just think we need a guy that just shoots the ball.
So let me ask you a question. Would you trade RJ for Sam Hauser right now?
No. Hauser is who I wanted. Hauser is who I want. For $10 million, it's too expensive. I think it's too much. That's what Boston signed him for, and that's why I think that's why they're in the apron, and I think that's why they can't trade him because $10 million is maybe too much. But for a pure shooter, if we had money under the cap, I would take him. Not to start, but as somebody that can play the 2.
Okay, how about this? Would you trade RJ Barrett for AJ Johnson from the Milwaukee Bucks right now, and a first round and a second round?
No.
Well, Milwaukee don't have no first or second round picks. They got to steal that from somebody.
Therefore, yeah, there you go. So you need a 13 to facilitate at least. Then.
What about Malik Monk?
I like Monk to extent like that, but he's just too erratic to me, man. I don't like those guys. I just all over the place.
I don't like him either.
You know what I'm saying? But I like his scoring ability. He's more off the bench type player. That's why they didn't do too well. They started off well with him starting when they traded who they trade again to San Antonio. They started off well and then they started to dwindle. No, we need a Derek White type plare. I keep saying it, a Derek White type.
No, but Celtics ain't trading Derek White.
We tried to give him RJ and the 9 pick. That's what we tried to do.
If you're picking up a Derek White, you're getting rid of him, man, quickly.
Why?
No. Derek White played alongside other.
You don't need all that.
Derek White can play alongside Holiday, Pritchard. He can play along other ball.
I'm sure he can, but the thing is, though, we're talking about the money here. It doesn't make sense. You can't do that.
Well, I'm just saying, you trade RJ, you can free up money, right? That's how it works. You got to trade money for money.
Then you have to pay him down the road. These guys think 5 years in the head. It won't work.
No, Derek White has. I thought he re-upped with Boston last year or something.
That's what I'm saying. They think 5 years in the head. If you pick up his salary, you have him for the next extended amount of years, or how many years he has, and now you have Quickly on the flat with 32.5. You just re-signed Porto with another 4 to 5 years with whatever it was. Was it 19?
4 years.
Then you have BI that's on the 30s going up, and then you still have Scotty that's in the 30s as well. That whole contract,
like 2 years. I think BI is only 2 years in an option. So, like, I would worry about that later on. Like, I don't worry about like
later on when.
I wouldn't worry about that. As long as you fit under the cap and you're signed for 2 years minimum, we can make trades and things can happen.
But I'm sorry, I want to interject for a second to touch on Randall's point that he made earlier in the show. I'm with Randall in this case because I'm like, I don't like and I said this when we did the State of the Raps pod earlier in the year too. I find the team expensive for the roster that we have, and it's nothing exciting about it. You know what I mean? Like they're like $1 million. They're $1 million under the first apron. Like isn't it?
You find this team to be expensive?
I mean, they're like $1 million under the first apron. Like they're like right under like the first set of luxury taxes. And I'm like, and you look at the squad, it's like, okay, I mean, it's
the best top 4 squad on paper.
I'm not saying they suck or anything like that, but I'm just like, to me, I'm like, that's
for the amount we're paying. I don't see any like benefit.
But they're all friendly contracts though. They're not. No one is overpaid. There's no superstar that's getting paid $50 million.
I agree.
And it's like 2-year terms, 3-year terms. It's not like some long term. I love it. Masai, one thing I did love, he only signed guys like in that 3-year window, right? And I actually like that. Earn your keep. I don't know how he's able to do it. He might have to overpay in those 3 years with Canada. So I'm gonna accept that.
Yeah, which I think he did.
Only give him 3 years. Ingram was, I think Ingram was 2 years in an option or something like that.
Who's overpaid on this team right now?
No, I don't. I'm not saying anybody on the team is overpaid, but I'm saying when you stack them all together, like I know everybody's like, "Yo, you can just trade these guys after," but I'm like, I don't know. Like I think RJ's contract is the most movable because it's like he's getting paid like 20 something mil, 25, 20 between 25 and 30 mil. It's not for a guy that's averaging over 20 a game. That's a good contract.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? That's a good contract to move. But
you said Toronto is $1 million under.
Under the first apron.
Under the first apron?
Yeah, I think they're like 194. So that's especially now with like Poto being signed and stuff, right?
That's extended, right?
So Scotty, so hold on. So let me read this out. So RJ's got 27 and 29 for the next year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good contract because he's averaging over 20. It's a good contract.
Quickly for the next 4 is 32.5. Brandon Ingram's 38, 40, player option 41. Scotty, 38, 41, 44, 47, 51.
BI's taking that option.
Sorry?
I said BI's taking that option.
You know what? I don't think he's
playing about 50 to 55 games this year. Maybe 60.
Man. Oh, man. You guys are killing me with this injury stuff. Hey, listen.
I'm not wishing it on him. I'm just going by his track record. I'm sorry.
For the role that he's about to take upon this team, he's not taking that player option.
Oh, he will be. He will be.
We remember this discussion.
I think because at the time when we traded for him, I think New Orleans found not many takers for him at that time.
No, they did not.
They did not find many. We gave them Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, I think, and like a late first-round pick from Indiana that we got in this.
Yeah, but he was also on an expiring contract.
True. But no team still wanted to take that flyer or re-sign him or re-up him.
There was one other team.
Okay, whatever. But you know my point. Not many teams. So unless
I think a bottle of rum like Cavalier and Bumble was throwing in that deal too.
Right? Like,
oh, you guys are disrespectful as fuck. Holy shit.
Yeah, like I don't know. But I think a lot of it has to do with Ingram. Again, off the court, injury prone and I heard that he smokes. Like, I don't know. I just hear he's just not the player who smokes. BI. I just heard it. Anyhow.
Allegedly.
Off the court, he doesn't maintain like that game, body, mode. That's what I heard. So, or read.
So, what do you see him averaging this season?
I see him. I see him averaging at least 20 points minimum.
He takes over RJ's scoring.
Agreed.
So you don't see him averaging at least 20, 5 and 5?
I think he can.
Yeah. I can see about 24. 24.
Honestly, I say 25.
Yeah.
I was averaging that in New Orleans when still nobody wanted him still. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't think it's his talent. I just don't think he's, Lakers traded him, right? Yeah, maybe LeBron wanted him out, whatever. But he was talented. You don't get rid of talent just like that. They traded him for a reason. He went to New Orleans. New Orleans didn't want to re-up him. Why is that? He's averaging 25 and 5. Yes, they got what's his name? Who's nice? Is it who's six? Who's the six? Not Herb Jones. Who's the other?
You talking about Trey Murphy, man?
Trey Murphy plays the exact same position. Trey Murphy is the truth. He's gonna be like that guy. So, but at the same time, they let him go too. why are these teams? That's one thing my brother used to always say. When you see a player keep getting let go and let go and let go, there is a reason for it. When they're talented, there's a reason for it. 100%. You just don't know what's going on in the change room, in the locker room, team building.
Something's going on behind the scenes.
Fights and shit go on behind that we just don't know about.
Yeah.
Time to go.
He's a talent.
Aiden, time to go. You got to get cut. Time to go.
Yeah.
I don't care how talented you are. If you're not coming with the right attitude and bringing down the team morale on the plane and all this shit, you're complaining, you're whining. I mean, players, coaches, GMs trade just for that alone. I'm just tired of this guy's whining or fighting and bullshit. Get rid of him.
It's funny because I was watching this I forgot whose show it was today, and I was Jimmy Jackson was on it. I don't know if y'all remember Jimmy Jackson.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Jackson in college was a hell of a ball player. I think he was like player of the year his last 2 years in college. Like he was a beast. That man played for like 12, 13 teams. And I'm like, yo, something's going on with this guy behind this because he's too good to be playing for that many teams. So there's no way. I'm like, there's got to be something he's doing. Something's going on. Something's going on behind the scenes. And I know he's an announcer and he's very polished now and everything else. But like something was going on behind the scenes for a guy to play for that many teams. So to your point about BI, I know he's not playing for that many teams, but yeah,
he's still young. He's been traded 3 times.
Three Raptors. Yeah.
This is his third team, right?
Pardon me?
This is his third team, right?
Yeah, this is his third team. So maybe twice. I don't know. Lakers.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. I got him on my fantasy team. I know he can rack up them stats, man. But yeah, like
they already know.
I'm just concerned about the injury history with him.
Yeah, they probably knew that we give him 5 years and 100-something mil. We're fucked. New Orleans probably thought that too. We're fucked. This guy's not going to come.
Nah, they had to choose between him or Zion.
No, not Zion. Zion's a knucklehead in himself. That's another story.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Zion also sells you tickets, so when he's actually healthy. That's the problem.
That team was destined to fucking not go far. That team on paper was another good team on paper. Murray, Zion, McCollum, Ingram.
And what's his name that hurt himself too? They got from Atlanta.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, towards Achilles, right?
Nice on paper, and they couldn't even get like they were like playing. Now, mind you, injuries to Zion, Ingram, and all that. But even
Murray
before
too.
that, the team is. I thought on paper to start the year, I thought they looked good.
And who's their center?
Missy. He was Missy.
Yeah, he played well.
Really?
But I don't think he was starting center to start the season. I forgot.
Wasn't it Valanciunas at one point?
No.
I think it was maybe.
No, they had a Daniel Tice starting, and then Yves Missy took over.
Yes. Yeah. Tice was garbage.
Missy took over. And now they have Queen, right? They're Queen.
But he got power forward center. They got him at power forward, but they just picked up what's his name, Kevin Looney from Golden State.
Yeah.
Rebound. You don't need scorers. You need role players. I guess.
Yeah. And Julian, I resent your comment about Zion. Zion also off the court. He's fine too. He's fine.
yo. Yeah, man. He's fucking every time when I think he's going to be a better person, maturing, growing, he does the opposite.
Yeah, media takeout comes out. There's more media takeout articles.
Yo, what the fuck is wrong with this kid?
I don't know what's going on, man. And trust me, I was on the bandwagon. I was rooting for him, man. I was rooting, man. I had to jump off. Jump off, rolling in the street.
Him, Ja, even Edwards. Like these guys should be the face of the league. All 3 of them should be.
All 3 of them, yeah.
They all fuck up outside of it. It's crazy.
But that's okay. That's what Shea's for. It's no problem. We got it for here.
Canadian.
We got it for here. I'm gonna wrap up the pod right now, but last thing I want to say to you guys, this is a completely different topic from basketball. What are your thoughts? Last thoughts. But thank you guys for doing this pod. But last thoughts. What's wrong with your boy Jim Jones, man?
Yeah. Yo, he came out and said that he was doing it for publicity. Once he said that, which we all knew he was.
That's your guy? That's your guy, Jim Jones?
Who, me? Mine?
Yeah.
No, I'm just answering his question.
Oh.
He ain't my guy. I was a fan though growing up. I ain't gonna lie. I was a Dipset fan. I'm still that. I'm still a fan.
Summertime in Miami.
Yeah, man. Right, but no, that was a dumb publicity stunt. Like that was just dumb. Like I know it got the clicks, it got the attention. That's why you do stupid shit on podcasts, like and interviews and on social media. You do the most stupidest shit to get clicks.
Yeah,
and it worked.
Say the Raptors gonna be top 4. Hey, good night, y'all. I'm out of here, yo.
Yo, that is you listen, your take on Philly being number 1 is the worst hot take than my Raptors being top 4. And this is important.
Bet it.
Number 1.
Jonte it. Bet it.
Hey, how about those Bears?